Welcome into the Ravens Right Now, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we will get you set with everything you need to know ahead of the Ravens matchup against the Atlanta Falcons, with keys to the game as well as a major injury update on Lamar Jackson that we'll get to in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, though, if you're rooting for your Baltimore Ravens, I have been told that they are scientifically more likely to win Saturday's game if you like today's video. So don't be that guy. Don't jinx it and be the reason that they lose because you didn't like today's video. So smash that like button if you would, and we'll get started with today's show. Week 16 in the National Football League, a battle of the birds, the Falcons and the Ravens this week. And the Ravens come in as about a 7.5-point favorite with the over-under at 37.5. And for the Ravens, this is a big game, bigger than I think people realize here for what's at stake for the Ravens. And we'll explain all that when it comes to the playoff picture and also with keeping pace with Cincinnati in the division. We'll get to that here in just a moment. But who do you got? Ravens? Falcons? Who is going to get the job done? Who will be the superior bird? If you like the Ravens, type BAL. If you like the Falcons, type ATL. Let me know in the comments section who your pick is for Saturday's game, whether it's the Ravens or the Falcons. BAL for the Ravens, ATL for the Falcons. The million-dollar question, will Lamar Jackson play or not? Well, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Ravens are targeting this week for Lamar's return, that they're doing everything they can to make sure Lamar stays on track to come back this week, which will be huge for this Baltimore Ravens team. Not only to have a quarterback back into the fold of a MVP caliber type QB in Lamar Jackson, but also with replacing Tyler Huntley, who, let's be honest here, Tyler Huntley didn't play great. Okay, with the way things went the last couple of weeks without Lamar Jackson. 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes. He did complete over 70% of his passes, so that was a positive. But you could tell there was a significant drop-off from when Tyler Huntley was out there as compared to Lamar Jackson. Lamar's numbers, 62% completion percentage, over 2,200 yards, and he also put up 17 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Lamar, and those are just the passing statistics. Not to mention Huntley, solid runner, but not the runner that Lamar Jackson is on that front. So with all that being said here, Lamar looking like he's on track to make his return. What's your confidence level in Lamar Jackson in this return that we're talking about here, of how well he'll play? Let me know in the comments section. Scale it for me 1 through 10 where your confidence level is at in the Ravens quarterback in his likely return. 1 through 10, let me know in the comment section below. Other injuries for the Ravens, Calais Campbell with the knee injury he suffered against Cleveland. He is doubtful for this game this week against Atlanta. Meanwhile, Marcus Peters with a calf injury. He's questionable, and it sounds like all indications are that it's much better than what it could have been with his injury. Josh Ross with that foot injury coming off of IR. We'll see on his status as the days progress. But the injury front for the Ravens, it could have been a lot worse than what it actually is right now. So what's at stake for Baltimore this week as they take on this Atlanta team? Well, they can clinch a playoff spot with a win or tie. And then if 2 of the wild card contenders lose, whether that's New England, the Jets, or the Dolphins. And it could be any one of the 2. It could be the Patriots and the Jets, could be the Jets and the Dolphins, could be the Patriots and the Dolphins, whatever it may be. If 2 of those 3 teams lose and the Ravens win or tie, they are in the postseason. Now, when it comes to the divisional race, something to think about, if they win these next 2 games and the Bengals lose one of the next 2 games, then the Ravens clinch the division. They would have the tiebreaker no matter what happens Week 18. So something to keep in mind there, that although that the Ravens find themselves outside of the divisional race right now, they still can very well take it right back from the Bengals if the Bengals lose one of these final 3 games and the Ravens do what they need to do there. So that's what's at stake. Now, let's get to keys to victory for the Ravens. First and foremost, establishing the run game is going to be a big key. J.K. Dobbins has been fantastic since coming back within the last couple of weeks. He's had back-to-back games with 100 yards rushing, and we saw him get in the end zone last week against Cleveland. The run game did kind of go away in the second half in that loss to the Cleveland Browns, but J.K. Dobbins has been spectacular. And we saw him, he went in, had that surgery to kind of make sure that he was all good. And it's been a night and day difference from the last time that we saw him earlier in the season. To me, I like what I've seen from J.K. Dobbins these last couple of weeks. I hope there's more of this from J.K. Dobbins here in the coming days ahead, that he continues to lead the charge. And with Lamar coming back, here's a crazy notion to talk about. When we have mentioned about establishing the run and getting the run game going, we have not seen one time this year where J.K. Dobbins was 100% healthy and Lamar Jackson played. Those two things haven't happened. This Saturday could be the very first time all year that we see that happen. Watch out for the run game. Watch out for J.K. Dobbins. Before J.K. Dobbins came back this year for the second time and did this back-to-back 100-yard rushing game, there had only been one running back all season that had a 100-yard rushing game. That was Kenyon Drake. So something to keep in mind there. J.K. Dobbins needs a big game. I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Fetch. Use the Fetch app for iPhone or Android to scan your receipts to earn points and turn those points into gift cards. Whether you're shopping at Target, Walmart, grocery shopping, or even your local mom and pop store, you can earn reward points by scanning your receipts with Fetch. You can also connect your Amazon account and your email to earn points and all your e-receipts. Use my link to download. That's chatsports.com/Fetch. And enter the promo code CHAT and sign up for 5,000 points when you scan your first receipt. That's the equivalent of a free $5 gift card to get started. As you accumulate points, you can click on Redeem in the Fetch app and choose from hundreds of stores and restaurants like Amazon, CVS, or Starbucks to turn those points into gift cards. You can see how easy it is to use. The 5,000 points offer is only for a limited time. So get started now. What are you waiting for? Chatsports.com/Fetch. Enter the promo code CHAT. The link is also in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, number 2 on our keys to victory for the Ravens is making things difficult for Desmond Ridder, the rookie quarterback out of Cincinnati, getting the start for the Falcons. And I'll put it kindly, Desmond Ridder looked awful last week for the Falcons in his, I believe, first career start. He was not good. 50% completion percentage, under 100 yards passing, no touchdown, no picks against a Saints team that's just really not that great. And we've seen this Ravens defense really come along in the second half this year. The playmakers that they bring to the table, Roquan Smith was a terrific addition to this bunch. Patrick Queen's playing a lot better. You got Marcus Williams healthy now. They got to give Desmond Ridder fits all day, whether it's when it comes to coverage or getting pressure on him, whatever it may be. The Ravens can do themselves a lot of favors if they give Desmond Ridder a lot of problems to deal with, and I think that they will. Who will be Baltimore's MVP versus the Falcons? I have a feeling it's going to be a defensive player. I think we're going to see one of these defensive players go off, whether it's a guy like Roquan or Patrick Queen or somebody out there. I think this is where the defense takes charge, and we're talking about one of these defensive players being like, wow, look at that man go. That's the type of week I think we're seeing. Name an MVP for me. Could be a defensive player, could be an offensive player. Let me know in the comments section who the MVP for Baltimore will be. Now, besides just stopping Desmond Ridder, making things difficult for him, you got to stop the run to try to force Desmond Ridder to throw the football. And if you look at the statistics, the Falcons are very good when it comes to the run game. And I know you got Cordell Patterson leading the way for the Falcons in the run game, and it's still weird for me to see a running back wearing the number 84. I can't put my mind to, oh, wait, that's a really good runner, and he looks like a wide receiver. I'm sure a lot of you are probably in that same boat too. But don't be fooled because he wears a wide receiver's number, Cordell Patterson, because the run game for the Falcons been fantastic this year. Second in the league in rush play percentage, 56%. Fourth in rush yards per game. Third in rushes per game, 32.6. They are third in rush yards per game at 164.1. And rushing touchdowns per game, they ranked 8th in the NFL. Top 8 in every notable rushing statistic. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that this team runs the ball pretty dang well. So stopping the run, got to make it happen because that is what the Falcons do at their core. That's what they do best more than anything else. Number 4, keys to victory for the Ravens will be getting Justin Houston to come back to life. Wake up, Justin. Somebody wake up Justin Houston. Now, he would have had a sack last week against the Browns, but it was called back with a penalty. But here was Justin Houston. We were talking not too long ago, just on a tear. 9 sacks, and was just a problem for offenses to deal with. It's been 3 straight games since Justin Houston's had a sack. Now, granted, 9 sacks is a terrific season he's had, but he's kind of come back down to earth the last few weeks. I would love to see Justin Houston get back on track, and like we talked about earlier, giving Desmond Ridder problems, Justin Houston, I want to see the Justin Houston that we saw a couple weeks ago. And I don't think you have to go very far to find that Justin Houston either. I think he can play like he did a couple weeks ago and be a problem for the Falcons to deal with. Will Justin Houston bounce back? Will we see him get those sacks that we've been talking about? If you think that he will, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know in the comments section below. We're going to be covering this Ravens team like no one else is. We'll have post-game coverage for you here on the channel coming up on Saturday. Don't miss out on that. Daily news and rumor segments as well throughout the week. This is the place to be. Turn on your notifications. If I could give you a Christmas present of some sorts, my Christmas present to you would be a free subscription to the Ravens Rundown. Doesn't cost you a thing. Might as well subscribe for free. YouTube.com/RavensTV. Finally, on our keys to victory, our last key of the game is starting out fast. I think it's vital for this Ravens team to make a statement of some sorts after not scoring an offensive touchdown last week, to come out of the gates firing and to get a touchdown on the board right out of the way. I think that would do this team wonders and would help the confidence just within the sideline of this Ravens team if they can get on the board and get on the board fast with a touchdown score. Saturday's loss last week against Cleveland, first game all season, the Ravens did not score a touchdown. Not one. So it's not just about getting points. It's, I think, for morale and everything else, about getting points early on to get kind of your mojo back of some sorts. To me, that is going to be very important for the Ravens to start fast, get points going, and make last week that loss against Cleveland, get it out of your memory as quickly as possible, getting to the end zone as far as I'm concerned. Predict the score of Saturday's game against the Falcons. We asked you earlier who you think is going to win. What will the score be? I'll give you my score prediction in just a moment, but we want to hear from you first. Let me know what the score will be for Saturday's Ravens and Falcons game. To recap, my keys to victory: establish the run, make things difficult for Desmond Ridder, stop the run on defense. Justin Houston, wake up, my man. Let's see you come back to the guy we saw a couple weeks ago. And then starting out quick, get some points on the board, get some mojo going, and quickly forget about what happened last week against Cleveland. My pick, I like the Ravens this week. I think the Ravens get back in the win column, and I do think that there's a pretty decent chance we see the losses necessary for the Ravens to lock up a playoff spot. I think we could be talking about that being taken care of this weekend, and then we'll see when it comes to the division race. Might come down to the very end between the Ravens and Cincinnati on that front. Ravens 24-13. Interact with me on social media at Tyler Jones Live on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and I will see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown. Have a great day, everybody.